The off-screen indicator is going to be a system that when you drop it into the scene, what it does is allow you to identify objects that if they're not on camera, then they're just going to go to the borders with arrows pointing or whatever art images that you use for it. As an example, so if I have this inside the scene and we make sure that the objects are turned on, so we have it enabled, it's currently saying it's tracking any IDs with 0 on it. And then it has a set of options and elements to it we're going to look at later. But just as a general thing, if we have this enabled, when we go into another object, so for instance, if I go into player, and when you go into any of your tiles, you're going to have an option for the off-screen. It's going to look like that one right there. So the off-screen indicator, when we click on it, it's going to say, do you want it to be a part of the off-screen indicator? So we'll say yes, enable it. And then which ID is it? We know that this one's 0, so we set this one to 0 as well. And then you have options for when it can stay on or turn off. Right now we'll leave those at default, but we'll look at each one and how we can interact with them as well. So I'm going to push play. Now, by default, because the player is in the screen, it's showing the square, meaning that we can see it. Now, the other option here is that I'm going to go into my fly mode. And if I fly off screen, now it's going to turn into an arrow, and you'll notice that the arrow moves wherever the player is. So there you go. So that is the basics behind the off-screen indicator. A lot of properties and elements to make it very uniquely yours in terms of how you want the behaviors to work. And we'll go through all of those and take a look at how they work so you can best use them.